Hello everyone, this is Bob Gaming here, even though I'm technically filming on a different TV channel. So this is my first video. I know my first two videos were shorts, but hey, I'm gonna try and upload on this channel as well, as much as possible, because my main channel is obviously Bob Gaming is my main channel, and then the extra channels are The Boys and, of course, Different TV. Again, I don't know how I came up with the name, okay? Anyways, I wanted to do this video because I think there's like a couple of people who might have watched this and asked, what are these changes to EXE? Why does he have darker hair? Why are all the sprites different? Well, in this video, I'll basically break everything down in a batch that I believe you'll understand. Alright, so without that out of the way, let's get straight into this. So on the screen here, you can see because this video I put on right here is version 1. If you don't know, I did make V2, which like fixed a bunch of like charting bugs and stuff. Now if you see here, so I made Sonic.exe's for like Quill's Darker. The reason behind this is because this is an actual different EXE, if I remember correctly. Because the EXE I took it on is actually not. I actually haven't looked at the lore. So yeah, there's that. It's this version of EXE is actually it's called EXE Monster, if I remember correctly. Like I said, I haven't looked at the lore. I don't really understand what this really is. It's just the character looked cool. See, I'm gonna put it on screen now. This is what it is. I know it doesn't look exactly like... I know it doesn't look exactly like this in, like, the proper game. But I just looked at this because I was looking through, like, fan-made EXE sprites on Pixel Stars. Because Pixels is, like, its original sort of EXE style. Instead of, like, 2D, like, the original mod. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just more realistic in a sense. I just thought this character looked cool. So I was just like, yeah, alright, let's just add it into this and then remix the song. And I think it turned out pretty well. I'm actually quite happy with it. And also, I want to put out on right here is that you may not be able to see it, but like, I actually did change the jump scare, because there's actually a different one. I remember finding that on images as well. So yeah, that's how that came into existence. Also, I do want to put out here, you just saw that jump scare. I also edited that. It was kind of hard because like some of like the sprite, like one of the sprites, I remember it just turning red, and it made it look a bit odd. And the thing I want to note down is that I found this boyfriend and girlfriend remaster because I was looking at like remastered ones that I'm like that don't look exactly like boyfriend, and I saw this one. I'm just like, yeah, this is actually pretty cool. Because it does actually look decent, but I switched it back because it didn't have a dodging animation for the Chaos song. So yeah, that's too slow cover. Now we can cover the You Can't Run phase. This phase is based off another like sort of... I think this is actually like a fan like pixel drawing, if I remember correctly. It's this take on like... Apparently, if I remember correctly, it's like a different take on the phase 2. I put it on screen here, cause this is what it looks like in game. And then apparently this one's like in the Mania style, like Sonic Mania, and it actually looked pretty cool. That's why if you looked at the phase trees, it didn't make too much sense because it went like, oh, it's like a darker shade, and now it's like a lighter one. It's sort of like a Faker sort of take to it, but obviously it's just not Faker at all. Also, I updated this like a bunch of times. At first I was gonna leave it like this, like you see on screen here, like the classic like Faker look. But I decided to change it because I wanted to see if I could make it look like the proper pixel drawing of exe that was expired for the first phase. But hey, this was still cool to have. I just didn't think it made too much sense. And with this, I updated this in version 2. It was like, because at first I was going to leave it purple because it actually made it look like a proper transformation to like a phase 3, but like not really. But then I decided to change it to like a darker shade to the phase 1. The song remix of this is, by the way, is a literal banger. I really like the remix that I take on it. I never like what this musician done with the song. It's pretty good. Another thing that I also wanted to address, that the reason why I also chose this boy because he actually has fingerless gloves, and I remember correctly, what's his name? Not like other memes, huh? Cold Steel. He mentions that about fingerless gloves looking bad. And I was just like, you know, this is actually kind of perfect in a way. So I was just like, okay, let's add it in the song. And then we get to the next song, which didn't have too much changes, but it had like a few charts because of the remix in it. But I think I did a decent job of fixing the chart, because the first chart error is that the chart where it was like do 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 do, I screwed that up horribly because I'm a terrible charter. That's why if version 3 is possible, I might try and do some charting and get better at it. But it'll probably not happen. I'm not thinking of extending this mod too much. Anyways, going off topic, I think I might state most of this later. Now, the reason why Tails actually has eyes and also a hand, don't mind them, it's because I'm trying to make it actually look like the proper Tails EXE from like the story. Because in the original story, like, this is like full on spot on. Sorry by visuals freeze for a second. I'm sorry if it does that a lot. I'll just keep fixing it. The reason why actually, I don't know why he actually has a hand, but it makes the most sense. I think I did miss like adding like finishing the tail, because I think his tail's perfectly fine as well. But I decided to leave it because I was like, okay, I might do it. I might like fix it later, but I'm not too sure. Because this is what he actually looks like. I put the image up there. This is what he actually looks like. His tail's fine. He has 2 hands, and it is pretty. It's very accurate. I think it's just his fur needs to be like a lot darker. I think I might do that in like a future like hotfix sort of thing. Alright, so now we get to the next part, which I don't know if I would be able to go over just in time. The reason why I slightly changed Xenophane is because I saw this image of him where it's just... Alright, hang on, my thing's frozen again. Alright, here we go. It's because it actually looks like a bit more like this, because it has like more blood on him and not as much pink on him. He has more like blood, from what I've seen from images. I also see some like really odd versions, like instead of Xenophane actually having like blue fur and green spikes or something like that. Which I was actually thinking of doing, but I think it just didn't make much sense in phase-wise. Yeah, that's what it properly looks like. Also, I might change. I did try and change the Knuckles sprite, but I decided to leave it like that. I think it still looks pretty good. I might definitely change the Knuckles sprite a bit. Also, the glowing effect sort of thing with the Tails and Knuckles sprites, that was my idea, because I was like, you know what, this actually looks pretty cool, in a sense. And then with Knuckles here, I changed it because he's not as dark in the proper EXE lore. I think he's still dark, it's just not really. So I just gave it like a more lighter tone to it. Like I said, lots of shading were not put on some of the sprites, because shading doesn't always work for some reason. Like, it takes it over on the painting software I use. Also, you may see that the ring is not there, it's just like an extra down arrow. I just left it like that because I was just like, it's sort of like a diversion note almost. And it's actually pretty cool. And the reason why I call it diversion note is because if I do actually press it, it crashes the game. Because it's not like proper notes. So I kind of want to fast forward here because I don't really have too much else to say about the rest. I guess the only thing I can really say is that I didn't change the Eggman sprite since it's pretty spot on, but in like the proper EXE game, it's just like regular Eggman. It's got like dark. I'm not trying to sound racist or anything. It's got like gray skin and it's like bloody and stuff. A couple of like fun extra things I want to add. Is that for Endless, that boyfriend sprite with like the Majin like coloring, that took a long time. And I was gonna finish it, but then I looked back at like the thing, I was just like, hang on, I just realized I changed boyfriend sprite, what do I do with this one? So I just left it. But I might have joked this probably took me hours. It didn't even take a whole day, it took us so long. And also the endless remixes I found were like so good, so I was just like, come on, I have to add this. It's so cool. Another. Excuse me 1 second. Sorry about that. Another thing I wanna add on is that for Chaos, that was like the mage failure of version 1. It's because if you saw there, when you press space on this boyfriend sprite, it gets stuck in one spot. That's because it doesn't have a proper dodging animation. So that's why it's kind of just there. So that's the reason why I had to change my the boyfriend sprite. And also the one I got for version 2 is actually not half bad. Even though I do still feel bad for leaving that one in the dust, since it was actually a good sprite. The other two things I want to add on from since the other songs are basically just remixes, and that's just it. The one thing I want to add is the meme characters. So we'll start off with the one that's popped up on the screen now, which is Sonic. The reason why I changed him is because I heard that they were actually going to do like proper Sonic, but they did Sonic.exe. So I put on image here. I just did regular Sonic. I took over sprites and then just did that. And I thought it was actually, I think it's actually still good. I might, if version 3 is possible, I might try and make it look a bit more like Sonic, like, because I realized that the color's a bit off, and also the eyes. Not to mention the background. That was actually my idea because I realized that the background is just like one image and not a mixture of like multiple, so it was actually easy to change. And I found this background on Gary's mod. I was just like, yeah, this is actually a good idea. I couldn't find many remixes online to like do this song, but it was probably the second most changed thing of the entire version 1. So yeah, that's okay. Since the main thing is that I'm probably just gonna be changing I'm gonna be changing like some of the the sprites for this because it's not very accurate to the actual Sonic. Last thing I want to put out here is Sunky. Now Sunky was like the first song that was like added. It was the first song like added. The reason why I changed it is because they made it because the whole focus was around EXEs and they made the original Sunky, but they added like Sunky memes to the song. In my sense, it didn't make a lot of sense. I'm gonna put the song on screen here, just give me 1 second. See, I tried to make it look more like Sunky.mpeg. And I think I did a good job, especially since this is probably the most changed song I did. And I think people watched it was just like, why does the boyfriend spray now have a grey hand? That's because that was kind of like a tease for version 1. That's pretty much what it was. Not to mention, I'm proud of all of the memes I added. There's a couple that didn't show up in the free play. That was actually like a small amount. I think the one that doesn't pop up the most is the burning Elmo beam. So yeah, that's pretty. I was supposed to pop up, but it didn't pop up like at all in like when I was playing it off camera. And that's all the things that I basically have to say about this mod. About version 3, I'm not really thinking about it because I don't really know what else to change. Remixes would be cool, but it's just they're not easy to find. That's why the Needle Mouse song is basically just the regular song, but like a horror version. I was just like so underwhelmed by that. I just didn't know what to do. I mainly made her horror-like is because that's a creepy pasta. That's actually quite scary, Needle Mouse. So having it in the EXE is actually cool. So, sorry, going off topic. Version 3, I don't know if that'll release. It might, but I highly doubt it. Because I don't really know what else to do with it besides like making some like small changes. Like literally like 10 minutes before this recording, I literally just updated the icon for literally no reason. Alright, so anyways, that's gonna be today's video. I think I might see a lot of people watching this because I think lots of people were confused when they watched, but I think the 200 viewers were confused. Why is this like slightly changed. Anyways, that'll be it for today. Have a good one all. See ya! Also, I got my camera back. If you've noticed, I know it's dumb to say now, but more camera videos now. Bye!